You know, leaders are in a difficult position. You've heard the saying that it's lonely at the top, right? They realize that they're in a special position, that they command a special attention in their leadership role. And sometimes that causes them to step back from the people that they lead, to kind of protect themselves with this insulation that might be described by this phrase that you've heard before, where they might say something like this: look, it's not personal, it's just business. But for you leaders, understand that when it comes to influence, at least, it is always personal. They know that they can't step that far away from their people or above their people and still expect to have any influence among their people. They have to get closer in order to pull that off, so they cultivate real relationships with the people that they lead and serve. And I experienced this principle not too long ago when I went to a wedding. I was part of the groom's party, and instead of the typical golf outing or something that you might have the day before the wedding, in this case, we went to play paintball. Okay? I don't know that if you say play paintball, it didn't feel like we were playing anything. But I'd never experienced this before. How many of you have ever played paintball before? Okay, so you know where I'm headed here, but I didn't. This was the first time, and I've never done this, but I imagine to myself that I am certainly going to be impressive on the battlefield. I'm convinced that I'm going to be some combination of, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo all wrapped up in one, charging the line. I'm going to take over this field of battle. I'm really envisioning this. Now, we get there to the site, we get out, we get our equipment and all these sorts of things, and then we go out on the battlefield, and I'm still conjuring notions here of how I am going to be just this magnificent fighting machine. Then the horn sounds, the paintball starts to fly, and I turn into my little kitty. I'm not filled with courage. I'm not charging the line. The truth is the adrenaline is surging. My heart is in my throat, and all I can think of is I need a place to hide. The truth is what I was wishing for more than anything else was some way that I could hide and still participate. Is there some way that I can hide or be far enough away to be safe and still pick off the other people with impunity? I'm a sniper at heart, right? I discovered this wasn't going to be possible because when we first got there and they handed out all of the different equipment, they did something called cronying our guns. Now, I didn't know what that meant at the time. I didn't pay any attention to it. But what that means is that we all shot our guns through a chronograph. And they would adjust them so they all shot with the same force, same distance. They're all identical. I don't know who thought of this crazy idea. But that means that when we're out there on the battlefield and I'm trying to shoot people, I discover very quickly that if I want to get close enough to shoot them, I have to get close enough to be shot in return. There was no way to break this equation, try as I might. I think about that sometimes. I talk about this sometimes when I work with leaders because, look, there is a reciprocity to influence. And if you want to get close enough to somebody, close enough to the people that you lead and serve so that you can influence them in meaningful ways, look, there's no way to do that unless you get close enough to be influenced in return. That means that this is a real relationship, and like any relationship, it's messy. That means that if you want to invoke emotion and fire up your people, you're going to have to feel emotion as the leader. If you're going to want to be able to prod them and push them, even sometimes, dare I say, make them feel uncomfortable in the interest of moving them in a certain direction, there's no way you're going to be able to do that unless you're close enough that you too feel poked and prodded and sometimes uncomfortable in your leadership. Right? That's what it means to have a real relationship, to relate more to the people that you lead and that you serve.